welcome back to the third series of defense for me. My opponent obviously on offense in this case. It's a 10-0 lead, 2:20 left in the second quarter. He has the ball on the 28-yard line. I'm going to try to keep the same format of short videos with maybe one or two plays in them. I'm just kind of liking that myself, and I don't know if you guys maybe noticed the last series I put up, I didn't put the intros. I may or may not with this one. That one I just didn't have time to render it all out to get it out by Tuesday. So I want to do that with this. Obviously if I can get this done faster, I will put them in. If not, I'm kind of curious whether the intros matter to you guys at all. So if they don't matter at all, let me know in the comments, or send me a message. Honestly, I did that just for fun. I know most channels do have some sort of intro, so I threw that in there. But if it doesn't really matter to you and you care just mainly about what I'm doing here, then that's great to me. So let me know about that. So what we're seeing here is a ace twin set out of the pistol, and basically he has three receivers to this side. He has an X, he has his Y in here in the slot, or not his Y, excuse me, his Z in the slot, and then he has his U tight end, his Y tight end, and his tailback here in an I formation set behind the quarterback who's in the pistol, which means he's basically in a shotgun set and the back is directly behind him. The play he's running, to me, it looks like the slot under with a couple adjustments. Slot under entails seam routes from the tight ends, a slant route here from the slot, and the adjustment, I believe, is normally he would be running a curl route with his number one receiver to this side. In this case, he's going to run him on a slant as well. And the other thing is, normally he would have a flare route, but it looks to me like he keeps him in the block in this case. So on defense, I'm running another cover 3, so I'm staying in coverage because he's had the issues with it. I'm in what's called a 46 normal, which is basically the same thing as a 4-4 set, except that instead of a linebacker here, it's just basically my safety dropping down into position. Both my backers are stacked up, running kind of a split look, and then my corner here can roll up because he has no outside receiver to worry about, so he can actually squirm over near the tight end, a little outside the tight end, be an extra force player. So out of a cover 3, like we've mentioned before, the seams are the spots to go to. But because I'm in because he has no outside threat to this side at all, he's not going to send the back out this way. This corner here technically could tighten up. Now I will say, in the video game here, they don't always do that, and in fact sometimes it's rare that they do that, but it's there. The reason I'm telling you this is because some of you may be wanting to learn this for your actual football if you're actually playing in real life, high school or whatever. So normally this corner can roll up, and same thing with this outside backer / safety here. He can squat. He doesn't have to fight his way all the way to the outside here unless he sees that tight end working out or the back working out. Until he has a threat, he can sit and squat and tighten up this window here to help out the rest of the team, the rest of the field. On the backside here, same thing is going to go with him. Once he realizes he has no threat deep, he can tighten up too. So that actually effectively, with him tightening up and him tightening up, closes these windows down a little bit. Alright, it tightens them up, it narrows them. So that makes it a lot harder for a quarterback to hit those areas, unless maybe, if you got Peyton Manning, then okay, you might have a shot. The other thing is, with the under routes, these two being the only under routes, this backer here can gain more depth. He can gain more and stay with the seam until somebody starts to flash his area. And then obviously he has to head back. Same thing with me here. I'm actually playing McLean here at this inside backer. I'm going to gain depth with the seam route here until I see one of these guys flash across. And then I'll attack their inside shoulder to try to keep inside for an interception in case he throws it. So let's run through the play, see what happens, and then we'll discuss. Alright, he's making his little adjustments here. Boom, boom. As you can see, I was staying with the tight end. Now that I've got a wide receiver here flashing on his slant, and he actually is getting deeper on his slant because he gets redirected by the backer. I get inside of him, so now that's taken away. He's throwing that seam route. That's the guy he's seeing open, which, like I said, cover 3 seams are usually there. And you can see my corners here aren't tightening up hardly at all. So really, this is a really good place to throw the ball, with the exception of one thing. He is still gaining depth. So he's fairly level here. And we'll see what happens with this. So he throws to the outside shoulder because he wants to keep it away from my safety. But that gives Hitchens here, my defense, or my linebacker, the ability to get in the play and get the deflection, knock it down. Alright, and the other thing I want to talk about here just really quickly is Hitchens isn't actually a starter with the team. I put him in there because he has the most athleticism outside of Sean Lee at linebacker. So for my outside linebackers in a 4-3, or in this case a 46 normal, I like to have really athletic players. I like guys who can actually run with tight ends, and linebackers that can run with the tight ends, run with the running backs. And even though they can't really keep up with the wide receiver, they might be able to keep up with them for a step, which sometimes is all you need. The other thing is, you'll notice, and maybe I've already mentioned this, when I go into my nickel coverage, I take out McClain. I like McClain. He's a good player, but he's not as athletic. Now, he's a better tackler than Hitchens is. He's a bit more physical, but I'm willing to take the missed tackle every now and then, where with Hitchens here, because of his athletic ability, he's going to be in position more often to make bigger plays. But in this case, obviously, since it's a 4-3, or I have 3 linebackers, I keep my 3 best linebackers, or the guys that I consider my 3 best in, and he is one of them. Even though he's not a higher rated player, he does have the best athleticism. So that actually helps, and as you can see here, obviously with his deflection, that helps. He has decent, I believe, jump ability, but he has decent speed. Actually, he's like an 84 speed or 85 speed, something like that, which I like. His acceleration's good. So sometimes you want to look at that and think about that with your personnel, and not necessarily go with the guy who's normally the starter or who's the higher rated player. Look at some of their other features. Their speed is a big thing in football, especially in this game, and his agility and acceleration are the other two as well. So like I said, in this case, that's why I have him in there, and it works for me. It may not work for you. That's something you have to figure out for yourself on what you need for your team. Okay, we're going to go on to the next play here in a minute.